everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the GameFace MPNFL Netball show. Last week we saw the completion of the top player countdowns. So in Div 1 we had Hannah Mundy coming in number 1 for Sorrento, number 2 was Chris Vickery at EDS, and number 3 was Holly Hood of Mornington. Div 2 saw Adrian Harris of Crib Point in number 1, number 2 we had Taylor Robertson from Seaford, and number 3 was Caitlin Watson in Tyab. What did you guys think? Agree, disagree? Anyone stiff to miss out?
3 very solid choices in Div 1. I think I had the pleasure of watching Holly Hood on Saturday and pretty much cements why she is a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Her gameplay on Saturday was amazing, and I think Chris, no one's going to knock her off the perch.
She's a real workhorse.
Hannah's an up and coming. Unfortunately, Hannah's injured, I think, for the start of this season, so hopefully we get to see her towards the end.
Fantastic. Division 2, again, Adrian Harris in number 1. I don't think that there was anyone more deserving than Adrian. She's a fantastic club person, has been with Crib Point since day one, and gets around the girls, gets around the whole club, and could probably go to any club on the peninsula and get some really great dollars, but is a fantastic club person. So I'm happy for both her as a player. She's fantastic, but also as a club person, and the loyalty, to be number 1. And likewise with both Tay Robb and Katie Watson, they're both really great club girls as well, and fantastic players. So congratulations to both of those.
Fantastic. So let's jump straight from that and have a look at our round 2 results. Lou, what can you tell us from Div 1?
So Div 1, we had a couple of really blowout big score lines this week. I think Bombers got a bit of a shock to the system after a decent round 1. Dramina showing that they're a true force this year, and there wasn't really many surprises out of the A-grade games. We'll say I think the Mornington YC score was probably a little bit wider than most people thought it was going to be. A couple of injuries, and it shows that fresh legs are really important when it comes to an A-grade game. Interesting, there was a couple of draws. We had Div 1 D-grade Mornington versus YC, and we'll talk a little bit more about the premiership quarter in a little bit, but fourth quarter comeback was very interesting from Mornington, and that's about it.
Yeah, draws can play a big part at the end of the season on who makes finals and who doesn't, with those 2 points rather than the 4. So it'd be interesting to see this early on whether that plays an important role there. In Division 2, we also had a draw. So the C-grade girls, Seaford versus Langwarrin, came away with that draw. So I think they will be contenders for finals, and that might play a role in where they finish in the end. And again, the same 2 clubs, but in the A grade, the tightest game of the round, with Seaford coming away with a 2-goal win against Langwarrin. So
that's tight,
so Langwarrin, a minor premiership winner from 2018, and Seaford new to the competition. So interesting how that's all shaping up now in the new 2019
comp. Seaford up there in the top clubs, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I know that they were missing their goal shooter, who was prominent in round 1 against us at Somerville. She shot 16 goals, I think, in the last quarter against Somerville. So for her to be missing, I know that Seaford had to play a different combination in the circle and was still able to come away against some really tough competition at Langwarrin.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so those 2 girls that got thrown in there with a new combination, they've done a great job, obviously.
Fantastic. So very close few games there, especially that Seaford versus Langwarrin one. That's really interesting. And I wonder, in that game, which was the premiership quarter?
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say that, because there was a small difference to Seaford in that 3rd quarter, which the poll states is the premiership quarter.
It does. By a whopping 79 votes. I think the next closest coming in was a first, but I don't know if that's a bit of in our brains from a footy context.
Yes, 100%, I agree. Because if you look at the breakdown of the Seaford versus Langwarrin game, it was pretty much neck and neck the entire game. So I think that really throws to some comments that we had on our Facebook post during the week, that it doesn't just take 1 quarter to win a game of netball, but it takes a consistent effort across the full 4 quarters. So I know Jill Hunter, who's one of my long-term favourite netballers in the community, piped up with her comment around the fact that it's a game is never over until the final siren goes.
And that's pretty prominent from the Mornington YC game. They were D grade up by 8 goals, and that's generally a pretty decent margin when it comes to a D grade game, but didn't stop Mornington. They just chipped away in that last quarter and kept chipping away, and it was the last 30 seconds, I think, came down to it.
Yep.
We're not able to seal the deal. So
game's never over until it's over.
Exactly, until the fat lady sings, as they say.
Yeah, so my A grade girls, I know that at the moment they're putting together, solid 3 quarters and just not being able to keep it together for the last quarter. So I think the comments around it having to be a full quarter effort is definitely there's some merit in there.
Yeah, it's definitely the focus for our club this year as well, is the full 4 quarters. I think that's that's a given, but it's something that you really need to work on, because it's not just your combinations at your fitness as well, as to see that game all the way to the end.
Fitness does play a massive role in having that consistent effort. I know we say to our girls, the first quarter, breaking the game down into 4 quarters and really focusing on that first quarter, getting a good start. I know for one, I don't like playing chase netball. I prefer to be chased. A little bit of the puma in me, but we always focus on a strong first quarter so that we're setting the pace, and people need to look at what we're doing rather than the other way around. We don't need to look at what we need to do to get that score back.
Yeah. Although that said, as an Essendon supporter, I've seen some fantastic times where we've come from behind at the in the end.
I do love a good comeback.
Yeah, let's not talk about football. I'm still reeling from the weekend.
And run over some teams, in that last quarter. So, that never give up. And even though you're down at 3/4 time, just to be able to go out there and to, really work hard, I think that's pretty exciting as well.
So last weekend was actually a great day out for Red Hill as well, with not only making it 4 from 4, but they also they also got to do it well at their brand new courts. So
that's right, Sammy.
Really exciting.
No more wool shed. No one's out there. I think
amazing.
A little bit surprised that they went with the asphalt courts myself. I don't know if that's a budget thing or
is that something you think they'll rectify later? I know we're starting out with not a great surface, and then they're going to redo it later.
I don't know much about it, but let's have a quick look at what Red Hill netball coach Lisa Vines had to say about their brand new courts and the weekend that was.
I'm joined by the head coach of the A grade and D grade, and also the head coach of the club, Lisa Vines, here at Red Hill. A great day for Red Hill, new netball courts and 4 from 4 wins. What a day.
It was a very exciting day. We are so happy to be finally on our outdoor courts. It's taken a long 10 years to organise the council into doing it for us, but a very convincing win in every grade for Red Hill this week, and the goalers very happy with those new rings. What we're excited to have is our traditional green shed that's been an icon of the Red Hill Football Club had to move for our netball courts to be built, but we are looking forward to the green shed re-emerging in a new modern vocal viewpoint where our external football bar will be, but it does have fantastic netball storage. So watch this space for our female change rooms. That's still to come for our netballers and footballers.
All right. So so I noticed from that with the courts are located right where the shed used to be, the old alpaca shed. So no one's going to miss that concrete floor shed. But what a fantastic position for the court. So right next to the footy ground, so that it's all combined. So I'm sure the Red Hill guys will be loving it out there.
Fantastic. While we're looking at facilities, maybe we should have a look at what everyone had to say on our poll this week of the best netball facilities.
Yeah, so Somerville came out on top, which I don't think can be disputed.
Big surprise, yeah.
No, 3 courts, plenty of warm-up space, which was most of the comments. The canteen's rather close. It's not as close as it could be. There's still a little bit of walk for your hot dog. But also there's shelter there, and the girls, I think they're getting resurfaced soon with the show court, or that's plans, I think.
At Somerville?
Yeah.
Well, we would love to have it resurfaced, so we've had some quotes come through. It is a significant cost to the club, so again, just being able to chase those dollars to be able to get that rectified. So.
And then we had Coringal, which I haven't actually seen since they've got caught, so I can't really comment on that.
It's impressive in the fact that they've gone out and they've got themselves a red court to match their club, so
like that.
That's pretty impressive. The thing that probably let Coringal down to get them up into the top spot there, I think, is the warm-up area. So you are forced to get out to the car park, battle the kids in the cars to be able to throw a ball around. But in respect to the court surface, the facilities nearby, everything like that, it's pretty spot on.
And then we had Bomb Beach coming in to round it out. Another one that I haven't been to in a couple of years, I've been away when we've played them. Are they still in the basketball stadium?
No, so they've got new outdoor courts. So it's right next to where the stadium's straight ahead, and then to the right is where they've got the courts now, because we're playing our home games there this year. Yep. It's actually a really great setup. So they've got the 2 courts, so you do at least have one warm-up court. You can kind of go half each, which is really good. And yeah, I think that the surface is great. There's a bit of shelter there. It's they've done really well there. So
they've gone
really close to the footy ground as well.
And they've gone the asphalt surface as well there.
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah, which is actually not that bad. Like, because it's not your old playground asphalt. It's the proper surface stuff. Yeah. So it's not too bad.
Smooth, not the
funky
stuff.
That's right. When you were younger.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to know to what maybe the decision making behind whether someone goes an asphalt surface versus the rebound A style. So Coringles, being that red colour, is more of a rebound A, similar to Somerville, whereas Bomb Beach, Crib Point, Red Hill have chosen the asphalt bitumen type surface. So I'm not sure what the decision making is behind that, whether it's a financial reason or a all-purpose weather kind of situation. So,
and then looking at our courts at the moment, they're not that old, but they're needing to be redone. Just with, I guess, when they're rolled out, sometimes the weather plays a fact in how they set. Yep. So there's a couple that have popped up some little breathing holes.
Sure.
So under warranty, that's going to happen hopefully in the off season.
So maintenance might be a factor there as well.
Yeah, maintenance of the courts too.
So now what we really want to know, who has the best canteen? This is the most important thing.
This actually really worries me that this has been such a hot topic this week. By our netballers.
Come on.
Well, I actually went out to do some of our own research while I was at Mornington, and I'm a little bit disappointed to say that they ran out of hot food.
No!
Round 2, probably the biggest mistake a club can make is running out of hot food. It's not going to cost a lot to put some hot dogs in the steamer or some chips in the fryer. But we came across, unfortunately, Mornington District Netball Association weren't playing, so that canteen was closed. So once netball was finished, we had to walk over to the footy, and there was no food left by the time we got there.
There's some great revenue to be made from the canteen, so come on guys.
Magically a pizza van appeared and started handing out pizzas, so I don't know where this pizza
there might have been a malfunction happening in the canteen at Mornington.
Oh dear.
So I know that there's one of our players, Maddie Roberts, was very vocal in her comments around the canteens, and that also introduced our club president into the conversation. So he's well aware now.
Potato cake conversation.
He's well aware that potato cakes are required at Somerville now, and that is going to be a new addition to our menu. So watch out for that at our next home game.
Next time you're at YC, I know our canteen and the burger shed is a little bit of a walk, but make sure you get a burger. I did say, I think it was that Mandy King commented, can't remember who it was now, having the best burgers.
I think it might have been Rye.
Rye.
Yeah, Rye has a pretty good burger, yep.
I remember that from the finals, they do have a good burger.
Alright, so
have to check it out. And definitely feel free to post your pictures of the food that you're getting at the netball, because we want to see it. Pop it onto our GameFace netball page, and we'll actually pop a poll up this week as well, so that we can have a look and see who's got the best canteen. So last week we were introduced to the 2019 Interleague coaches. Congratulations to Kira Wills from Tyab, who is coaching the team, assisted by Louise Manders from Bomb Beach. The MPNFL netball squad take on Ovens and Murray at Olympic Oval Rosebud on Saturday, May 18. It's great to see that we're finally prioritising the interleague competition and squad for netball after a number of years of unorganised chaos or no interleague netball at all, which is no good. Christy and Lou, what can you tell us about the selection process this year?
Well, it was great to see that everyone nominated for Team of the Year last year, or who was selected in Team of the Year, I should say, were an instant nomination into the league. So rewarding them for their great efforts last year. I don't think anyone can dispute the players that were in.
It's a logical choice, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And then as an A-grade coach, we were sent an email through from the league, and we were able to nominate a further 2 players from our A-grade squad that could also be eligible to go down for selections, which I think is fantastic. It allows for new players that have come into the league for the year to be able to contribute to the interleague.
And anyone potentially who was injured who missed out on Team of the Year.
Yep, correct.
And also those players putting in the hard yards over pre-season and really improving their netball over the summer gives them a shot as well.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like there's been a real even spread of people who have elected to try out for the interleague squad. So Kira does have a squad of 18 at the moment that she's going to be selecting a team of 10 from in the end.
And there's some really, I know there's a couple of names in there that have been in our top 20 countdown, so I'm sure we'll be able to give it a good crack when we come up against the Ovens and Murray League.
But why you say that? So there's quite a few people who are in the squad. That were from our top 20s. But there's also quite some big names that aren't there. What are your thoughts on why that might be?
I think when you look at it, it's a big commitment to play not just netball for our clubs, but a lot of our players are playing VNL netball. So add that commitment on top, that takes out, I think it's 2 or 3 training sessions a week plus their game.
Yep.
Then you add on your club netball and then another train. I know they don't train as much, but it's still, when you're doing that much netball, a little bit of, as they say, work-life balance comes in a bit handy. I think that's probably why there's a couple of big names missing. But you see that in the football as well, and it's, it is up to the players to make that choice, and hopefully with a new focus on the interleague, we'll be able to see players really value that interleague selection and get behind it in the next year, so they are playing these games.
Yeah, I agree. I think now that there's a dedicated coach, that it's come in early, there's some structure around it.
It seems a lot more organised this year, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So I think that moving forward, if that continues, that we might be able to get more of those top 20 players to hit the court to represent the MPNFL.
And probably big kudos to the league and Sam for doing the work and making sure that this is something that's a focus for our league.
Prioritised,
Yeah, and good luck against them, I think it's Murray Ovens that they'll be playing in early April, early May.
18th of May.
Yes, 18th of May.
And I think the games are down at Rye.
Yes,
Rosebud, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so
we've all got to buy, so hopefully you can get a good crowd down there.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. We'll be looking forward to bringing you more news on that when they actually announce the final squad as well.
All
I think
right.
that's something about you, Lou.
So, which Division 1 club is finding team selections challenging due to in-house politics?
Wow. That's a very juicy one.
It is.
It is.
Team selections.
Interesting. That from a coach's point of view, I find it hard enough to select teams as it is, let alone having internal politics. I know between coaches, sometimes a coach wants to take a player and promote them for their good work, but you want to keep, if they're not getting a full game, you sort of want to keep them in that lower grade. Could be, sometimes, we're human, we don't all get along.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? Sometimes it's your combinations on the court with your skill level, but also your combinations and personalities too might have, play a big role in that.
Yeah.
With school holidays, Easter and everything else that's going on, team selections is not so difficult for me at the moment because I've got about half a squad to choose from.
I just sent a note to our little group message today, said, just don't really have a team this week, so just remember that when we're selecting.
That's right. And the Division 2, there's one that's come through. So which Division 2 club knocked back a coach after the $10,000 salary was deemed too high?
Wow.
That is significant.
That's a massive amount of money for a club to find.
It is.
My goodness.
Especially for, for a league that hasn't really been involved in paying people as much.
There's not a cash prize for first, is there? What are we playing for?
Maybe that's why we're now paying entry.
Maybe, that's
right. So, so that's interesting. $10,000, that's a lot of money. I'd be interested to know, what our football coaches are getting paid. I'd be suggesting that there'd be some, especially, our 2s and under-19s coaches are not getting anywhere near that type of
if they are getting some of them are probably not getting much at all.
Correct.
Really.
Yeah. So that's a significant amount of money.
I have heard a rumour though that there is another club that is actually paying that in Div 1. So
Wow.
there is apparently money in netball these days. So
I'd like to know where it comes from because we need some.
All the best
serious
then
fundraising,
to
maybe something under the cover of the bags. So who knows?
all the best to anyone who is receiving those kind of dollars, because it's,
good on you,
it's not me as the
No.
coach.
And if you do
I'll share
know,
that with you.
if you do know of anyone that is receiving a decent pay packet for their time at netball, please share it with us, because we would
Dob
like
them
to
in,
know.
go on.
Get some equality across our game.
I'd be interested too when if you're looking into bringing a new coach across, do you expect them to bring players with you? Because I've also heard that there's a few that do that. They have some players that they transfer across as they move clubs.
I think with any new coach, that's a new coach who want new lease of life, and with a new coach comes new players, and coaches have people that look up to them and idolise them. So you see it across most sports. When there's a change in coach, you do generally have a change of some of your players as well.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on the squad that you've got. I know that I would love to have potentially in the next year or two have somebody new come in and lead Somerville. So that's a shout out to anyone who's in the market
We're not looking for 10 grand
to come across, who would be able to just provide a different voice and a different message to your players. So
you need
sometimes
freshening up every now and then.
sometimes that's all you need, and also to be able to develop some young players, which I know that's what's being done at Hastings. They've got a really young squad, and Trish was able to come along and bring her superstar Hosking sisters along, but more so her direct instruction was to be able to nurture the young girls that were coming through as well. So I think it really does depend on what each club's looking for.
Yeah, we've definitely had that as well. We've got a fresh coaching team this year, and just the energy at training is totally different, because you're hearing a different voice, yelling at you from the sidelines. So it is definitely nice to have that freshen up every now and then. So as we move into our Easter round games, the big question that we ask you guys is, should we play netball over Easter or not?
I think we all know the answer. I'm probably sure we would all like to not play, but I don't remember a year that we didn't play, in all honesty. I know that it changes from year to year depending on when Easter falls. So I think last year round 1 was the week after Easter.
Correct.
With just one game, or maybe there was 2 games. It might have been another Div 1 game, Div 2, sorry, playing that night, that week.
It definitely threw our girls at the start of the year when they said, but we didn't play Easter last year. It just happened to be that was the way that it fell through the calendar. So we didn't, round 1 was post Easter for us. But yeah, it's definitely challenging. I know that I'm having this cheeky wine now, but after this show, I'm immediately off to play our game, so that we will allow. I've got Langwarrin tonight, and so that gives all the girls the weekend off. So for everyone who sneaks away camping and those things,
that's good when
we get a nice break.
It is good when other teams can sort of move things around as well to make up for that, because I know I definitely go camping each Easter. That's just a family tradition. So it is hard. I tend to miss that game each year, so because we generally don't move it. So it's nice to be able to play the Thursday night instead. Yeah.
So similar to Ladies' Day, Langwarrin and Somerville approached each other a couple of weeks ago to see whether this is something that would be interesting. I know Devon Meadows also have approached us to move our Queen's birthday for a similar reason, for people to be able to go away for the long weekend.
Comes back to that life balance as well, doesn't it? So netball is great, but it is not everything.
But we know that football doesn't change.
No,
football doesn't change, and the boys have that commitment to make it. So we've either got to commit to a season or there's 2 arguments there. But I know a lot of clubs are very helpful when it comes to moving games around. It's some of the bigger geographical locations that we're playing Dramana. I think we would have found it too hard to play on a Thursday night, so we've just kept it to the Saturday. But it is what it is.
Yes, what can you do?
The beauty is that with the long weekend, that the games are split over the different days, so it gives everyone an opportunity to maybe go out and see some of their opposition clubs. So I know in Division 2 we've got a couple of games on the Good Friday, and then so you could potentially play on the Friday and then head off for the other few days, and then we've got the 3 games or 2 games now on the Easter Saturday, because we've snuck our netball game onto the Thursday night.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we in Div 1 we've also got a couple of games on the Friday too, so I know I'll be going down to watch Mount Eliza Bombers and looking forward to see that battle this week. I know Mount Eliza had some quite close games, so they'll be looking to put a stamp on Bombers, I think, this week. So it'll be interesting to see that game. And then Pines Mornington. Pines their margins have been quite close, and Mornington, after watching them on Saturday, have really picked up probably one person in each part of the court that they were lacking last year to really be a force this season and step up and try and crack that 1-2 spot. And then,
so you think they're a legitimate contender for that 1-2 spot?
Yeah, after watching, so we played Sorrento week 1 and then Mornington this week, and they definitely capitalised a lot more on their opportunities than we did. Very fast-paced, erratic game in some sense of the word. So there was a lot of turnovers, but I would be interested to see where they finish. I think they've definitely got a chance to really push it.
The game against EDS was really close, I know, with Mornington as well. So
it was only about 6 goals in your game.
Very strong game. Yeah.
Very early on in the season though, so
I
don't think until you come back around and play that second game before you can really start knowing what's going to look like on the ladder.
It'll be interesting to see what comes about their game with Pines on the weekend, just to see if they are up to that.
Yes. So we want to hear from you guys as well, so don't forget to jump on the GameFace MPNFL Netball page and let us know whether you would like to play Easter or not.
And then for you, what are your standout games for Div 2 this week?
Division 2, I think the standout games for us is definitely going to be Crib Point versus Red Hill. Crib Point I've already flagged as I think he's going to finish as the minor premier this year, but Red Hill, they're just always consistent. They came away with the straight set last weekend, so they could really take it to Crib Point. And I think the other one too is going to be Coringal versus Seaford. So Seaford, we know, have had a decent win against Somerville, a close win against Langwarrin, but to play against Coringal, this is going to be really the tipping point for them very early in the season to see whether they're contenders. I think the big thing here is going to be which team Coringal puts out onto the field.
I was just about to say we didn't touch on it in the results, and I saw that and I think I was like, what? When I saw the scoreline between Chelsea and Coringal, so good for Chelsea, and good for the competition, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit more even this year.
Yeah, fantastic for Chelsea. Don't write Coringal off though. Like I said, I feel that they've got a large squad to be able to pull from, and whether that might have just been due to players in unavailability for that particular game, but I'm never going to write them off. So again, with Coringal versus Seaford, I think it'll be a really great match. Okay, so good luck to all the teams playing tonight, tomorrow and on Saturday. So don't forget to upload the scores live throughout the day on the GameFace record app. And if your club isn't updating the scores, inbox the GameFace page and we can send you the link to get the scores up.
And thanks again to our sponsors who make our show possible. With the cold weather on its way, Swift Locker can get you sorted with customised beanies for your club, so make sure you check out their website. And our friends at Frankie Media have also got your total business solutions sorted. If you need business cards, flyers, posters or signage, head to frankiemedia.com.au.
And we'll see you next week, coming to you with more netball news. If you have a topic or anything you want us to discuss, feel free to inbox the GameFace Facebook page and we'll speak to you then.
Cheers. Happy Easter.